Hey folks, Dr. Gerstmar, Aspire Natural Health here. Glad to be on again this week with some questions, and we've got a good one. So one of the most frequently asked questions that we see is either, what type of probiotic should I take or what type of digestive enzyme should I take? Since we get asked it so often, I wanted to make a video and see if we can answer that question for everyone. So this question often comes to us in two forms. The first just being, hey, what is a good probiotic or a good digestive enzyme that's out there? And I'll get to that in a minute and answer that question for you folks. The second question is, hey, I'm having this issue. My mother, father, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, a dog, son or daughter is having this specific issue, this, and that. What probiotic should I take and how often should I take it? All right, so we need to answer that one first. I get it, folks. People are out there looking for help, but the reality is legally, as a doctor, we're not allowed to answer that type of question because that type of question is a doctor-patient question, and that's why you'll see doctors so often saying, I can't answer those questions, is because that puts us in a legally bound position that could put, our ability to practice and our livelihood and our family's welfare in jeopardy. So doctors will not, and including myself, will not answer those kind of questions. The reality is, the second reality there is that the answer is, I don't know. There's a lot more information that I need to know to be able to effectively answer that question. I mean, sure, we can shoot off the hip and go, I don't know, try this. But we don't like to do that for people, right? We want you to have an answer that works well for you, that answers your question. The reality is that our initial intake is over 3 visits is 4 hours long. So we have 4 hours of time to talk with you and understand better. We're also running tests, and we're also asking for a lot of information from you. So the answer to that question is, I have this, and that. What should I do about it? Let's get a lot more information before we can effectively answer that question for you, okay? So here's an analogy. It would be like saying, what car should I buy? You're asking a mechanic or a car person, what car should I buy? And the answer is, well, I have no idea. What do you need? Do you want a sports car? Do you want a 4-wheel drive? Do you want a truck, a van, a minivan, like a moving truck? What exactly is your situation and what's going on? Until we know more information. Otherwise, we're just going, how about a truck? How does that work for you? And it may work great, but it really may not suit your needs, right? So the reality is when you ask those kind of questions, we're going to say, are you interested in a consultation? Because we need a lot more information to really effectively answer that question. And then legally as well, so we're serving you best, all right? So the second part, the first part of that question is, what is a good probiotic or enzyme? And the reality is there are a lot of products that are out there. There's a lot of good, high quality, effective products that are out there, and there's a lot of trash that's out there as well. We can't list out, every product that's out there because they're constantly changing and reformulating. But I want to give you a few names of companies that tend to make good products and a few criteria that you should look for. So let's go through the criteria first. So the first is you want to buy a good quality product, right? And the reality is quality costs money. So don't go for the cheapest product that's out there because you get what you pay for. There's a lot of, especially when it comes to probiotics, a lot of really poor quality probiotics. Some of the products out there, when they're actually tested, are found to not contain what they say they contain, to contain actually some bad or pathogenic bacteria, to contain far lower amounts of the probiotics than they say they are. The same holds true for any supplement out there. So you don't have to buy the most expensive product that's out there, but please don't go to the bargain shelf. It's why we generally recommend you not buy the low-end products from things like a drugstore or a grocery store because they're going to tend to be at the very lower end and they're not going to be good quality. The second criteria would be ingredients. So obviously you want to look for the fact that they have what you want. So when it comes to enzymes, for the most part, you're going to want a broad spectrum multi-enzyme product. For probiotics, you're typically going to want the probiotics that contain generally between 1 and 6 strains. So some of the probiotics out there will kind of pad themselves or try to look very impressive. So it's a good question about Ultimate Flora Renew Life. So hang on, we'll get there. So a lot of the products will try and pad themselves by putting in a large number. So you look at the label and you see a whole load of probiotics that are in there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a quality product. So most of the quality products are often going to have between 1 and 6 strains of probiotics that are in them. So beware a kitchen sink product. The second thing you're going to want to look for from ingredients is what is not in there. So the quality supplements are going to say, does not contain things like gluten, artificial colorings, fillers, different ingredients. It costs them money to not put those things in there. So they're going to very proudly proclaim that those aren't in there. If the supplement that you're looking at, the probiotic or the enzyme, it doesn't say that, then it is going to have those things in there, because all of the companies that pay to make a clean product without a lot of fillers, colors, additives, or other ingredients, they're going to tell you that. For example, or you'll look at the ingredients and you'll see that they're in there. So again, not to pick on any company, but we'll see people come in with Costco or Kirkland brand products, and a lot of times you can scan right down to the ingredients and you'll see artificial colors, artificial flavorings, lots of binders or fillers, and you know that it's not a quality product. Could it still work? Yeah, possibly. But again, so you don't want the cheapest products, and you want to look at the ingredients and see, A, that it contains the stuff that you actually want, and B, that it doesn't contain the things that you don't want. The third is that you want to make sure that it's a strong product. And now this can be a little tricky because each of the enzymes is going to have different readings and different numbers. All I can say there is you want to be sure that those numbers are fairly high. If the numbers look low, then it's probably a pretty weak product. Probiotics are a little bit easier to state. Typically, we want a lot. So products that list like 1 to 2 billion per serving are generally going to be very low dose products. We're often looking at, if we're doing capsules, we're often looking at 25 billion or more per serving. Sauerkraut is going to be, is great, not a supplement, so we can talk about that in a minute. 25 billion or more per serving, and at the high end, just to be aware, we're often looking into the hundreds of billions or even trillions. So we want, not everybody needs that, okay, but we want to make sure that we're not looking at a product with a billion or less and then thinking that that's going to be really beneficial to the gut because the numbers are just so low, or digestive enzymes with very small numbers after them, just very weak products. If you have a significant dysfunction, you need something that is strong enough to have the effect that you're looking for. So we've talked about quality and price. We've talked about ingredients and strength and potency. The last one is you're looking for reputation. So ideally you want to go with a company that has a reputation for good quality products. So let's talk about a few. Again, there are many companies out there. There are many good products. I do not know all of them, but I'm going to list off some companies that I know do make good products and that I've seen be clinically helpful for people. All right? So we have a couple of over-the-counter, meaning ones, you can just go into the pharmacy or store and buy yourself. And so a couple of those are Jarrow, Jarrow. Jarrow has been around a long time, makes good quality both enzymes and probiotics. They're available out there. Now Foods, NOW Foods. They are one of the more reasonably priced product lines that still seems to adhere to good quality standards, and we've seen many people use their digestive enzymes with good benefit. So Jarrow and Now Foods. Also Claire with a K, Klaire, Claire with a K, Labs products. They're not usually available in stores, but they are out there on the internet. They make both enzymes and probiotics, and I've seen clinically a lot of good success with Claire's line. So Claire Labs, both for enzymes and probiotics. A couple more that are more doctor grade products that we use quite a bit. So Thorne Research, Thorne with an E, Thorne, has been around a long time and has very high quality products. There's another one called Vital Nutrients. nutrients. They have extremely high quality standards for their products. They are a little more expensive, but you'll find their products are very clean and at the high end. And then Zymogen. That name is spelled XY. M-O-G-E-N, X-Y-M-O-G-E-N, Zymogen, makes extremely good probiotics. One last piece that you can look at for probiotics. So we mentioned that usually they don't have the kitchen sink. Again, there are some good multi-spectrum probiotics out there, but in general, you're looking that they don't have too many strains. And if you want to know if they're even higher quality, you want to look at their pedigree. So you'll see the name of the probiotic. It'll say like Lactobacillus acidophilus, for example, and then it'll usually have some numbers or letters after it. Like it may say LA-2. You may see these numbers. Those are the pedigree of the bacteria, for example. So this company has gone to the extent of basically separating, isolating, and characterizing that specific bacteria, giving it a pedigree, and then the supplement company has purchased that pedigree and is using it. And again, just like a company isn't going to make a really clean product and then not tell you about it because it costs money to do that, they're not going to use pedigreed strains in their product without making a big deal about it. All right, so you want to look for a good quality product. It's going to be reasonably priced. Please don't choose your bottom of the very cheapest thing you can find, because you get what you pay for. You want to look for ingredients that it's not full of colorings, flavorings, binders, additives, and again, that it has high quality products. You can look for pedigree strains, for example, for probiotics, that the strength is reasonable. So again, probiotics are a little easier to just say. Typically, we're looking for something that's no less than about 15 billion per dose. 25 billion is even better, and sometimes we have to go a lot higher than that. So if you're looking at a product that's 1 billion or 2 billion, you're at the low end. Now, if you have a very dysbiotic gut, you have a lot of digestive problems, a lot of gut bacteria problems, you may not want to start with a high potency product that can cause a lot of symptoms, a lot of die-off reactions, a lot of unpleasantness. So there is a place for low potency probiotics. But again, you have to just look at this in the context. And then you want a company with a good reputation. A handful of the many companies that are out there, Jarrow, Now Foods, Thorne, Labs, Zymogen, those are just Vital Nutrients. Those are just a handful of companies, and there are many other good ones. When we go ahead and post this up to the website, we'll include a few more names and links for everybody, but it is what it is. There are a lot of good probiotics and digestive enzymes out there. Someone in the comments mentioned sauerkraut, which can be wonderful. Of course, that's not a supplement. Again, just really quickly on your fermented foods, which can be good sources of probiotics, the same sort of things apply. If you're buying them from the store and they're super duper cheap, you're probably not getting a good product. You want to look at the ingredients and see what's in there. If there's a lot of extra junk, additives, and colors in there, you're not going to you're going to get exposed to that. If the company doesn't have a good reputation, you're not going to have the issue. When it comes to fermented foods, the reality is a lot of them that are on the stores are going to be pasteurized, and that means all the probiotics that are in there are dead. Is there some benefit you can still get from them? Yes, but are you going to get the kind of real probiotic benefit? No. So you're looking for an unpasteurized product. You're looking to see that, for example, like with sauerkraut, that it is actually lacto-fermented and not just a vinegar-made product. And you should get tanginess from a lacto-fermented product, which tells you that the bacteria have been alive and active and producing a lot from it. I would have to look up Renew Life. I believe it's a decent product, but I'd have to double check. So look at the rest of these criteria and you can get a judge on whether the Renew Life product is really a quality product. All right, folks, I hope it's been helpful. There are a lot of products out there, but this is at least some criteria that you can look at. And if you're wondering why you're asking a doctor for specific advice and they're not giving it to you, the reality is we just don't know enough. Our initial consult, again, like I said, is a 3-part, 4-hour process. Also includes lab tests and also a lot of information that we're getting from you. So to properly answer the question in specific, we need a lot more information. All right, folks, at Aspire Natural Health, we are experts at treating gut problems, autoimmune diseases, and other hard-to-treat cases. Look, if a 3-part, 4-hour intake to really thoroughly and comprehensively evaluate you and help you pick out the right things sounds like a good call, please contact us. We offer a complimentary, phone call to find out if we can help you and we're a good match for one another. All right, folks, until next week when you tune in again, we'll see you then. So if you have any questions between now and then, please direct message, email, give us a phone call, or leave a comment, and I'll be happy to pick up with more questions next week. I think we might cover subclinical hypothyroidism, but we'll see what next week brings. All right, folks, until then, take care.